Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure we're actually recording here. Welcome to your reading for the week of December 25th. This week, we are just going to jump right in here, Virgo. You have this B card and this Dragon card. The B card is about community, of course, like working together with other people, but it's also about your vibes. And the Dragon card is kind of like this card of an ancient energy, like something that comes from an ancient, place, or something that comes from history. And so for a lot of you, I feel like you could be kind of, I wouldn't really call it a rebirth energy necessarily, although I'm sure I'm going to eat my words in just a minute. But, I would say that you are kind of breathing new life into something that, you've been either working towards or something that comes from the past. And I'm not talking about necessarily a relationship here. That's not like the type of energy I'm getting. It's more saying that you've, always wanted to take your life in a certain direction. And like, are you kidding me? Do I even need to say it, Virgo, right here? Like every single time I use this deck, you get this card. So, there you go. But, I kind of feel this is more you stepping into your power, your true power, who you really are. It's like you and Pisces, like I always say, it's like you two, out of every single sign that I read for, you two get you are like the most similar opposites that exist. So, again, I think that a lot of you, Pisces is doing something very similar. And the reason I'm saying this is because if you have Pisces in your chart, then it's going to be like extra powerful for you at this time. So definitely pay attention to that. But again, you have this bee, and I wanted to show you this. The bee has these vibrations going out around it. So I do feel like your vibes are going to be very important at this time. So I'd make sure you're putting out positive energy, just thinking positively. I think it's very easy to get sucked up in like going towards the negative side of things as well. Even me, even just over the past couple months, right? It's like I've found myself kind of like dipping into like some negative thinking and some other stuff as well. But I've also like said, okay, I need to look at my habits. It's like, there are certain things that I do. And again, what I'm trying to say is if you don't know what these things are for yourself, then I would figure it out. But there are certain things, like I look back to when things are like good in my life, and I always say like, what was I doing? What was I watching on TV? What was in my environment? What was I thinking about? And I just go back to those moments and I just say, oh, I was, watching this person on YouTube and learning how to improve my life. And, I had these habits and I did these things, and I just go back to that. So, sometimes and I don't know why, I've never said that before in a reading. I think it's like the easiest way to improve your life is just go back to when your life was improved and do some of those things, right? And that's kind of like what I'm getting here with this card. Again, you have this Dragon card. So there's something, I also get this energy of like something need to come out. Like dragons build that, fire inside them. And so I feel for a lot of you, there's something that needs to be revealed here. And, it's kind of weird because you have the Devil showing up here, Devil, Page of Wands, Five of Wands. I feel like the Devil, the funny thing is that the Devil represents like a fire building when you think about it. Not really, but, I'm reaching a little bit here, Virgo, but bear with me because, these people right here, they have these animal horns on their heads, and it represents our baser instincts. So I sometimes look at the Devil as root chakra energy, where it's like that creative place where you're coming up with an idea, but you need to express it into the world. Like it says that you need to bring those ideas up to your head and express whatever you're, thinking about, planning or whatever into the world. So, I don't always look at it as toxic energy. The Devil is just Saturn. And, it could just say that there's work that needs to be put in. Saturn, you have to get to work on something that is kind of like in your loins here, Virgo, like an idea, something you want to create, something you want to birth into the world. Doesn't matter what gender you are. You have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands says, go on the adventure. Everybody gets the Page of Wands. We're in a time of adventure. I tell everyone, like, if you want to change your life very quickly, just do one new thing a day. Like, I don't know, if you put your right shoe on in the morning, every single day, put on your left shoe for once instead, first, and then put on your right shoe, right? And it sounds ridiculous, but I would literally be trying at least one new thing a day at this time. It could be anything, big or small. And these adventures are just going to open up opportunity. The reading literally says this. You go to the Seven of Cups, which is being spoiled for choice. But I believe that we're in a time where it's kind of like we have to create these opportunities. So we have to go on these adventures. You have the Five Wands. Five Wands, conflict, competition. But I always call Five of Wands Indiana Jones. To me, it's a card of going on like some sort of crazy adventure and getting some treasure. So, I'm pretty sure you always get these like adventurous type energies with me as well. And, any adventure you could go on would be very, very helpful. So let's see here, Virgo. I can't even pick a card. Let's see. Here we go. Actually, apparently 2 cards want to come out. So you have this discrimination card, and the speculation card wanted to come out as well. Funny enough, that discrimination card has butterflies all over it. That discrimination card is about being able to tell the difference between something that's right or wrong in your life, something that's good for you. It's not like discrimination, like, bad discrimination. And the speculation card is kind of says, it kind of fits in really well here, because you go to the 7 of Cups to the High Priestess. The speculation card is about having some sort of dream that could be very beneficial for you, or having something that you are speculating will be successful. Then you go to the 7 of Cups, which he is dreaming about some sort of impossible dream or a big dream. And then you go to the High Priestess. High Priestess is a card of potential. I love the High Priestess personally, but she represents unlimited potential. There's no roof over her head here on this card. And so I feel for most people, like sometimes I feel, the High Priestess could represent your intuition. This card is the intuition card right here. But she also just represents the fact that, if you can dream it, you can have it. If you can, if you start working towards something, there are no limits to what you can accomplish. So trust your intuition. I do feel your intuition is pulling you in a new direction with that Page of Wands. So, I would trust that as well. With the 5 of Wands, you have the optimism card. Yeah, there's like a lot of reasons to be happy. I feel this a lot. Like, I feel that energy of getting pulled back into negativity or feeling like things are more negative than they actually are. So, like I said at the beginning of the reading, if there are things you can do to create more positivity, or like what are the things that you have done in life when you are more positive, or when you feel like things are going more your way, I would do more of those things, is kind of what this is saying to me, to you. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this Golem card. It says, a close friend acts on your behalf. You have this Unicorn. It says, good fortune and friendship. So definitely good stuff. And 2 cards about friends here. I'm pretty sure in the last readings that I did, which I can't remember, I think it was the mid-monthly readings, in those readings, I'm pretty sure you had a lot of stuff about socializing. You do, even the 5 of Wands that you have here, the 5 of Wands can be just a social card. So, I feel that there could be a lot of support from friends, or people could be protecting you at this time. I also really feel like someone has your back just in general. So if you're like worried about something, I don't know, like I have this weird story popping into my head here, Virgo, I'm just going to tell you. It could be a Gemini, because I almost just said Gemini, by the way. But I feel like maybe you're worried about like losing your job or your career or something like that. But I feel that this is saying that, number one, you probably won't, but even if you did, I feel like there are more that you have a lot of supporters that will make sure that you're okay, right? So I would let those fears go. I also do feel there's clearly good fortune coming in for you. You have the Sun right here. The Sun is the best card in the tarot, so a lot of happiness, joy. It kind of says the sun is shining on you at this time. I also just noticed that you have this other 5. So you have 555. 555 could be an important number for you. It is a big number of change, but going this way, we go Sun, 5 of Swords to the Justice card. This to me looks like you taking some sort of risk, and I feel the risk that you're taking, again, is on a dream. You have the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is a specific type of dream. It is, as far as I'm concerned, it is one of those dreams where you're like dreaming of it. There's something you want in your life, but you're thinking about like the good things and the bad things that could happen. There are good things and bad things that are in these cups. So you might be imagining your future, or, starting a business or being in a relationship. But you could also really be weighing your options. You could be saying, well, these bad things could happen, but these good things could happen. And really, there is no good answer with the 7 of Cups other than to find out. Because the 7 of Cups basically says, it's always true that good things and bad things will happen no matter what you are doing in life. But you just have to bring it down to earth and figure out what's going to happen. You can't live in that fear of just speculating. You have the speculation card that things will go poorly, right? You have to find out. You have the 5 of Pentacles. I always say that, to me, the 5s are the cards that have the easiest solutions. Five of Wands is just a card that says, those people, they're training, they're not really fighting, so they're learning how to fight. The Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. They also have this church behind them, and it represents a place of sanctuary. The whole point of the Five of Pentacles is that they're left out in the cold, but they could easily go inside the church and they would be protected. So, it's a card that says there are easy solutions. But Five of Pentacles also says focus on your strengths and focus on what you are good at. Don't focus on the things that you're bad at, right? So let's see what is going on here. With the Sun card, you have the Endurance card, and this card it is weird. This card I have not seen a lot when I use this deck. This is the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, by the way, and this card almost never comes up, and now all of a sudden it's coming up a lot. So, and the other interesting thing is Sun, and then this card actually represents Sun in Scorpio, but there's a big Sun in a lion right there. So I do feel this card is saying, do not give up on a dream. There is something there's a lot of success coming in something that you really want to manifest. I almost feel like I don't want this to sound the wrong way here, Virgo, what I'm about to say, but it's almost like you're not trying hard enough. And I don't mean that you're not putting in work. That's what I'm talking about here. Don't take this the wrong way. I almost feel like the universe is saying no, actually, there is a lot more that you can accomplish. You could be a lot bigger, like if you have a business or career, or even in your career, or whatever it is you work on, even if you're retired, whatever you're trying to do in life. It's like there's more energy for you to take advantage of. And I almost feel that this is the universe is kind of, challenging you in a good way. The universe is saying, hey, there's something really good that you could build in your life, but you're going to have to go do it, right? With the Seven of Cups, you have this Decisions card. Again, whatever it is, if there's something you need to face, if there's something that you need to do, it's if you know that there's something bigger than you that you want to work on here, like a big dream, I feel like this is saying just make the decision to do it because it will transform your life. You have this transformation card right here. Again, I'm telling you right now as well, again, if you have Pisces in your chart, I would definitely go watch that Pisces reading for sure. With the Five of Pentacles, you have this Order card. Yeah, nothing is perfect. Nothing is going to happen perfectly. It's funny because this card is the Moon in Virgo as well. And, I just think maybe the challenge for Virgo is that things are not going to be, perfectly in order. And you're going to have to be flexible. But, I think that things are definitely improving for you. Even in the area of the goods or what's coming towards you, you have this card that says a win-win outcome is forecast. And you have the Justice card. This is the full moon in Libra. You have the end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. So things are clearly going to be improving for you, or things are getting better in your life. And I feel that this has to do with the work that you're doing. You have the Temperance card here. And again, you could be retired. I want to stress that when I say the word work, I literally feel for a lot of you, even if you do have a career, that this is personal work that you're doing. Whenever I get a lot of Leo stuff, for whatever reason, intuitively, I always feel that is more talking about kind of personal development type stuff. You could be trying to improve yourself. You could be working on yourself in some way. Again, you could be trying to create a more positive environment like we talked about in the beginning of the reading. You have the Five of Wands, which I also consider to be a card of kind of, taming yourself. And it looks to me like a lot of you could be working on yourself as well. But it could be financial. And I feel like you're creating this transformation. You have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is the card of winning at all cost. And, I will say, if you're dealing with something legal, we go this way to the Justice card, which says, justice is showing up in the area of the good stuff. So, there definitely could be some good things happening in a legal situation. You also have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is kind of like law and order, but the Five of Swords to me is always a card of taking a risk, and especially right now, I think that the only risk right now is taking no risk. I say this in almost every single reading, that the biggest risk we could take right now is no risk, and we have to, we're stepping into a new world, which means we have to do new things. That's why I always preach this. I say in every single reading, you have to do something new, because we have to. That's why. You have the High Priestess. Definitely trust your intuition. I also, again, the High Priestess has no roof over her head, and she is a card of potential, which, everybody reads her as intuition and all this other stuff, but really she's a card of potential, and she also has these 3 stages of the moon on her crown. And those three stages kind of represent the fact that she sees the beginning, middle, and end of every single situation she enters into before she enters into it, but not necessarily intuitively. She is maybe using her powers of visualization as well. So she controls her reality by visualizing what she wants. And again, I do feel like it's a very powerful, like, good time to do that, right? Let's see what's going on here. With the Temperance card, you have two cards again. You have this control card. You can't make this up. You have this control card and this risk card. Definitely time to take a risk. I also feel this control card, it's actually a good card. It's Jupiter in Capricorn, but I do feel it's saying that there are things that you cannot control. And so I feel it's like asking you to be okay with that, right? I feel like it's saying there is an element of chaos in everything that we do. It's like nothing ever goes according to plan, really. And I feel that this is saying you need to take a risk. With the Five of Swords, you have this Rebellion card. Again, I feel that more stuff about kind of like taking a risk and not being afraid to, buck some sort of trend, or not being afraid to, go against the grain in some area of your life. I feel like that will kind of make you stand out more. And, I think that's like true authenticity. I think once you start speaking your truth as well, like if we go like this right here to the Ace of Swords, I feel if there are certain truths that you believe, and once you start like speaking those truths, I feel you're going to find the people who are meant to come into your life are naturally going to be attracted to the things that you're saying. With the High Priestess, you have this criticism card. I mean, if you're alive right now, you're watching this reading, so you're probably alive. But if you're alive right now, anything we do, we're going to be criticized. It's just like the name of the game, especially when, next year when Pluto officially moves into Aquarius in November. I think that a lot of us, we could experience more criticism. And again, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. And again, the best thing to do is plug your ears in the first place, right? But again, when you think about it, Aquarius is the star. And, it's kind of like I see there's a lot of attention. I talk about it all the time in the energy where you could be getting a lot of attention on things that you work on, but people might not like that. And so your job is to ignore the criticism. Of course, if there's valid criticism, then don't ignore it. But I think if you're working on things and people are just being mean, I would just ignore it. In the area of the good stuff, you have this pleasure card and this transformation card. I don't know, every single reading I do for you, you get a butterfly, except for like the last one. So definitely going through a major transformation. You have been for years now. And people always say, like, how is that possible? I'm like, well, you don't just change overnight. So that's how it's possible. It's like some transformations take a very long time. And you have this pleasure card. Everybody has had some sort of message of needing to make sure that they're doing things that they enjoy, needing to make sure that they're doing things that they love, more of that. And so not just work, right? I feel you need to get out of your head and do some things in life that bring joy and happiness. You have two aces, which is amazing. Again, every single person, like pretty much the whole entire month of December, has had like multiple aces in their readings. So there could be a lot of new beginning energy right now. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. Ace of Wands is also a very creative energy, and we talked about this with the Devil. I feel there's a lot of creative opportunity, or, there's something going on here with your creativity, and I would embrace it. You have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is the truth. But I feel really this is about you living your truth here. And there's something about fear going on right here with the Five of Swords and the Rebellion card, where there might be some truths that you're afraid to, express, whatever it is. And I feel like you need to express them because it's going to bring the right people into your life. So don't be afraid to tell the truth, whatever your truth is. You have the Justice card, which is balance. And again, I feel like things are balancing out. And if you are dealing with something legal, I feel that there is balance coming in to whatever legal situation you're dealing with as well. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Resistance card. It looks like you're overcoming resistance because this is coming up in the area of the good stuff. So I feel that you're kind of pushing past the not knowing what to do. That's what I'm hearing right here. With the Seven of Cups in the Decision card. It's almost like you're saying to yourself, you don't know what to do, but you do. I feel like you do know what to do. Sorry, I woke up at like 4 a.m. and, my mouth is super dry. What that has to do with anything, I have no clue. But anyway, again, right here, I feel that it's like you're saying to yourself, I hear it, that you're saying to yourself, you don't know what to do, but you do. Maybe you're just like judging yourself too much. Justice, Ace of Swords, sorry. That resistance card, there's like a little bit of resistance or pushback. Let's see. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Seduction card. I don't really see this as a love reading. It's like there's no one here. I feel this is more a reading that is about you. That's more about your development just in general. There could be love, of course. I think love is always available to us. But I also do believe that we need to pay attention to the energies that are almost seducing us right now. But this could be a good thing. Like if you feel a very strong desire to do something, I would at least go explore what it is, as long as it's positive. Like maybe you want to start a business, or maybe you feel like you want to go to the zoo or whatever. I don't care, right? I would follow your inspirations. I really believe that we're in a time where we have to follow our inspirations. And, again, it's like one thing, we're kind of like in that time where I believe one thing will lead to another. I've been channeling this forever, that one thing will lead to another message, right? And the thing is that usually those steps don't make much sense. It's like you might wake up in the morning and be like, you want to go to the zoo, then you go to the zoo, and then you're like, oh my God, I want to go to this PETA protest that's protesting the zoo, and it's like that leads you to like go home and watch a movie or something like that, right? It's like all disconnected. So, it's like there could be, I think that's the challenge for people right now, is that we are being led in a direction, but we could also be judging the direction. So we just have to kind of go with the flow, right? With the Justice card, you have the Idealism card. Super weird. Everyone has had this card. Multiple signs have had it at the end here as well, which is weird. This is Aquarius. It's funny that we were talking about the Aquarian energy, but it kind of says like, it's a good card, but it also says that nothing is perfect, of course. And I do feel that is kind of like a big theme of your reading here, is that nothing is perfect. Nothing is going to happen perfectly, and you just have to kind of like go from one thing to another. You have this club card. It says someone will try to make you do something against your will. I do kind of see this as a challenge to a lot of people right now. I feel that, whenever there's like fear in the energy in general, like more fear than normal, I feel like people in our lives, maybe they're not doing it to be bad people, but they could be putting their own fears on us. So it's like if you want to start something, like if you want to move or if you want to start a business, you could have a lot of people in your life that are like, oh, don't move. The economy's collapsing. Housing's going to collapse and all this other stuff. But really, we can't like live in fear, and we have to do the things that we're feeling led to do. So don't let people make decisions for you. I see a lot of people dealing with this right now. So, it is what it is. You have the love card. Some of you definitely could be having love come in for you. Again, I don't really see it in the reading, but general reading doesn't matter. Love is always available to us. So there you go. And again, I do feel the reading is also saying it's time for you to move towards love. Things that you love. So it's like this could be hobbies. It could be businesses. It could be daily routines and things you want to do with your life. You have this flute card. It says disappointment in a friend or a lover. I feel like this is saying you need to be honest about love as well. Sometimes I think we get into a relationship and there are a few disappointments and we know things aren't going to work and we just stay in it anyway. And I feel like this is a deep message. I literally feel this card is saying, are you brave enough to leave a relationship that you know is not going in the right direction? Just, maybe you're fearing being alone or whatever. And I don't know, someone needs to hear that. So if something isn't working, it's not working, right? And I always tell people, it's like, this doesn't mean you have to just leave, right? You can communicate with a person, you can say what's up and just get these things out. I think that we're all guilty of this. We don't want a person to leave us, so we kind of like hold things in, but the problem with that is then we just hold things in and then things get worse. They never get better, right? So I think it's better to get things out and communicate with a person or right away when something weird happens or when something you don't like happens. And so what if they say whatever they want to say about whatever you say, right? Then it's not right. And then you save yourself like years of pain and misery. You have this bell card. It says announcement. I feel like there's good news because you also have this gong card, which has an exciting event. So there's clearly good news coming in for you. But this is a really good reading. Again, very deep transformation reading for sure. And again, you could be ending, I really like this. A win-win outcome is forecast and the end of a tough cycle approaches. It kind of seems to me like the energy is getting better for you. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.